I did work, I just don't know if the word's correct.
Number 7. A rectangular, all right, shh. Okay, gentlemen, let's get the worksheet out. We're looking at number 7. Rectangular animal pen with 1,200 meters squared, so that would be area, has one side along a barn. Okay, so they don't have to fence that one side. That's kind of the key thing here. So there's the barn. So I don't need fencing for the barn side. The other 3 sides are enclosed by 100 meters of fencing. Okay, so I'm going to call this X and Y. So there's a picture. Write the equation. Let's see. The area is 1,200. Go get a target, please. So X times Y would be 1,200. Right, that would be the area. How about the fencing? I have 100 meters of fencing, but what adds up to be my amount of fencing here? The perimeter minus the one side. Well, I'd phrase that, you're right, just the 3 sides, because I don't need fence along the barn. So 2 X's and a Y. Okay, and then find the dimensions of the pen. So I need to solve for one and plug it into the other. Okay with this?
How do you get 2x plus y?
Because I'm adding up how much fence there is. Fence, 2x, fence, or y.
How's that always go?
Because he has 100 meters of fencing.
Oh, I thought each side was 100.
Gotcha. So I need to pick one equation and solve for a variable. To me, it seems obvious I should pick the second equation and solve for y. That would be the easiest thing to do. So y equals 100 minus 2x. So I will substitute that in for y. So x times 100 minus 2x equals 1,200. And now I've got a quadratic. Should be straightforward from here. We'll see, I guess. 100x minus 200x squared equals 1,200. I can divide everybody by
-2.
-2 or 2 and move things around. How many things can I do at once here? I'm going to divide them all by -2, so that would be x squared, and rearrange the order, minus 50x. Thank you. And then this would be negative 600, but now it's plus 600 when I move it over. Yeah. I did a lot of algebra things at once there. Probably too many things. Okay, so they're going to need to be the same sign, but both. Am I going to be able to factor this?
I don't know, that's not what I did.
Probably.
Oh, minus 30, minus 20? There we go. That'll work. Good call. Thank you, whoever called that out. 30 times 20 would give me 600. Negative 30, negative 20 would make negative 50. So x equals 30 and x equals 20. But that's not the dimensions, plural, of the pen. I need to find what y is.
Well, then you just take the x and plug it into the first equation.
Correct. Well, I can plug it in either one. 100 minus 2 times 30. 100 minus 60 is 40. So I could have x equals 30 and y equals 40. Or x equals 20 and y equals 60. So there were 2 solutions to this, but that's what happens when we have quadratics. So those 2 combinations would make an area of 1,200 using 100 meters of fencing. Okay, number 8 as well. A walkway of uniform width has an area of 72 meters squared, surrounds a swimming pool that is 8 meters wide and 10 meters long. Okay, so here's my pool, 8 by 10, and there's a walkway around the pool. That's the walkway. Draw a picture for this situation, define the variable. Uniform width, that's important, so that means this width is, we'll just say x all the way around. Right? Like equal width all the way around. As opposed to, I think we did a problem where like the margins of the page was 1 at the top but half at the bottom. That would not be a uniform margin. Here, it's x all the way around. Write the equation that could be used to find the width of the walkway. Well, the area of the walkway is 72, so let's see if we can figure out how to find the area of that walkway. That area, I would say, is the big rectangle minus the little rectangle. Right? Sometimes it's best to start equations with words rather than formulas. Right? To get my shaded area, I need to do the outside rectangle minus the inside rectangle. The inside one's easy, right? That's 8 times 10, that's 80, so that's no big deal.
We just add that.
So eventually I'll move that over, probably. But right now I'm still just thinking like concept-wise, outside rectangle minus inside rectangle. So I need the dimensions of this outside rectangle to do length times width. So how long is this side?
Greater than 10.
It's greater than 10. That's a good start.
10 plus 2x.
It's 2x greater than 10 because there's an x on either side.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 10, the pool is 10, but then an x on one end and an x on the other end, so 10 plus 2x. And same kind of reasoning on this dimension. You know, it's 8 this way, but we're going to add x more on the top and x more on the bottom. So what is the outer dimensions here? 8 plus 2x. So the overall area would be 10 plus 2x times 8 plus 2x. So big area minus little area. 10 plus 2x times 8 plus 2x for the big area. That's my big triangle, or my big rectangle. Minus the inside rectangle, that's the easier one. That's just 80. Solve the equation algebraically. How many solutions are there? Explain. Well, I'm going to get an x squared, which makes me think there are 2 solutions, but sometimes we get weird solutions in word problems, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, so FOIL this first. So 80 plus 20x plus 16x plus 4x squared minus 80 equals 72. Alright, it's a quadratic, so let's move everything over and hope that it factors. Hope this is one of those like rigged problems where they give us numbers that work. So 4x squared plus 36x. Oh, the 80s cancel out. That was kind of nice. And then minus 72 equals 0. What would you like to do next? Yes, divide by 4. X squared plus 9x minus 18 equals 0. So I need... right? They have to be different signs, though, right? To get to and negative 18. So I don't think that's going to factor, right? 18 and 1 is not going to work. 9 and 2 is not going to work. 6 and 3 make 9, but only if they're the same sign. So let's back up just a second here. Make sure we did this right. 10 plus 2x, 8 plus 2x, 80, 20x, 16x, 4x squared, minus 8 equals 72. FOIL it. Get that. Combine like terms. Yep, I think my math is right. So what do I have to do? Quadratic formula. Or complete the square, I guess, but I don't really want to do. I don't mind complete the square, but first step is b over 2, so I'd be working with 9 halves. So I'm going to pass on complete the square. Although what we do today is using complete the square, so you're not done with it. Let's see, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay. This is a calculator worksheet, so I'm not too surprised that there's a quadratic formula one on there. I'm going to do the inside first. 81 plus 4 times 18, right? 2 negatives make a positive. So 81 plus 4 times 18 is 153. Okay, so there's why it doesn't factor, because that doesn't have a nice answer. Give the exact value for the width as exact answers. Exact here. Do not give decimal answers for this part. Okay, so those are my 2 exact answers. But let's see. I'm curious about there being. It just doesn't feel like there should be 2 answers to this. Like there should be one width that makes it work. One of them is going to be negative, and you can see that here as well. Oh, you can definitely see it here. Because if you do negative 9 minus the square root, you're going to get a negative number. And that's not going to work for the area of a... Right? There should only be one solution. And it makes sense because, again, one of these is going to be negative. Negative 9 minus root 153. I don't have to know what root 153 is to know that that's going to be negative. And so that's not going to work. So negative 9 plus square root of 153 over 2. There's my one exact answer. Again, that happens a lot in the word problems. You get a negative number that makes sense mathematically, but in the problem doesn't make any sense. The length of a sidewalk or something. Give the exact value. Okay, we did that already. That's negative 9 plus root 153 over 2. Draw the graph and show what you want. Oh, we solved this a different way, I guess. So I could draw that graph. X squared plus 9x minus 18. I know the x-intercept is or the y-intercept is negative 18. That's a pretty good hint that I'm only going to have one answer. Right, there's my y-intercept. There's my 2 solutions. But that negative one doesn't make sense. This would be the one answer that works. Give the value as decimals. Okay, so that's negative 9 plus square root 153 divided by 2, 1.685. And we were in meters, so 1.685 meters. Always good to do kind of a brain check. Does that make sense for this problem? And just a swimming pool with 1 meter, 1.5 meters of walkway, that makes sense. Right? I mean, if I'd have got 100 meters, I'd be suspicious. That didn't sound right. Negative didn't work at all. 0.01 meters as a walkway around the swimming pool seems a little bit weird. So the nice thing about word problems is you can kind of check them to see if they make sense.